You're listening to Hope Through Conversations. This is Rose Colarossi, your host, and I have the pleasure today to be sitting here with Danielle Girdano. Hi, Danielle.
Hello.
She's also a friend. I love this girl, and I'm so excited to have her on here. And she's usually on the other side of the mic, so this is a little strange for you, isn't it?
This is cool. This is good. I like to be the one that's relaxed now. This is
well,
good.
Now you get to sit back and let me work a little bit.
There you go.
So let me tell you a little bit about Danielle. Danielle is one of only 12 worldwide professionals that sit on the Personal Training Advisory Board for the Cooper Institute, which is right here in Dallas. That's huge. In addition, she is president of Define Sculpting and Nutrition LLC with offices in multiple U.S. states. And she's the host, as I was saying before, of Define Your Health with Danielle Girdano, Strength Through Knowledge radio show. I love that name.
You like that name?
I do. I love that name. And anyone who's met Danielle, she's just full of energy, which is very contagious. She brightens up her room when she walks into it. But she's always got a ton of things going on. I know I'm going to embarrass you, but let me read some more information about you. So in 2013, you were named to the top 40 executives under 40 list in the Dallas Business Journal.
Yes,
That's
that was very
huge.
cool.
I mean, that's huge.
That was very. It was a really cool event that they had, and it was awesome.
And then in addition to that, you were nominated and you were on the finalist list for the 2013 Chicago Innovation Awards. I love this because of your mathematical-based fitness programs. Okay, we cannot just bypass that. So talk to the audience of, I know what that is, but tell them what that is. Short, in a knot.
Short. Basically, when I was losing my weight, I wanted to develop something where people wouldn't get taken advantage of, because a big thing, and I talk about it a lot, is the unethical practices in the fitness and nutrition industry.
Yes.
And I was one of those people that fell for every single, magic pill, powder, workout, what have you. And so I wanted to develop something that was really more of a guarantee. And I was always kind of the geek in school, 30 seconds left to the bell, and I'm the one with my hand in the air. Can you go back over that theorem? You know what I mean? And God, shut up, Danielle. And so, I wanted to create something, and I created this process. We call it the Define Method. And there's several different variables, but it's all based on the physiological processes of the body. Like when we do cardio, we don't just tell people to go do cardio. We write them a cardio prescription according to percentages of their heart rate reserve, which is like a fingerprint. It's unique for everyone. And things took off after the first bike ride. So
you're not just pulling things out of a hat and saying, you know what, why don't you do this or why don't you do that? This is really designed for that individual.
Yes, absolutely. According to the muscle tissue that they have, the glycogen breakdown in their particular body, oxygen saturation rates, endothelial function, a bunch of things go into the equation. But it's
all the things I don't understand, but you do, so that's all that matters,
There you go. Okay.
Which is great. So tell everybody your story, your personal story of weight loss, which is phenomenal and so inspiring.
Well, quite a number of years ago now, it seems like, and I was a 2.5 pack a day smoker. I'm grossly overweight, going towards 400 pounds. Percentage of body fat was an upper 60th percentile, excuse me. And I basically had a doctor say, look, your body is not meant to take this pressure, your joints, the only thing I didn't have was diabetes, and they couldn't figure out how I didn't have diabetes. And I made a choice. I made a choice to live, and I just started basically moving more, eating less, because I didn't know any better. Got the first 100 pounds off, and that's when I got the courage to go to the gym. And I had a meeting there with the training manager that really set so many dominoes in motion, because I was exposed to the tactics of selling and how pressurized it is. And and those training managers, a lot of them are 100% compensation, or they have numbers to meet. If they don't meet the numbers, they're gone. And I almost gave up that day, because I'm like, oh my God, I can't afford personal training. This guy's telling me I'm going to gain the weight back that I lost without it. I'm already self-conscious about myself. And I decided that there had to be something different. And I actually took my first cycling class a couple weeks later, and I went to the cycling instructor and I said, I'm going to ride my bike across America. And at this time, I'm still, 270-ish. And he's like, okay, now, Danielle, I think you can do anything. And I said, I'm going to come back in here Thursday, and I'm going to have a route, and I'm going to have a plan, and blah, 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 blah. And I think he probably thought, yeah, okay, she'll lose this steam in 30 seconds. And I did, and I came back. And I picked one of the most difficult routes in the U.S., which is the Prairie Spirit Trail. And there had only been 2 people who had completed it prior, a Frenchman in 76 and an American in 97, both men. And I said, this is the route I'm going to do. And he goes, when do you want to do this? I said, this summer coming up. He goes, Danielle, no, you don't understand. You have to train for years for something like this. I said, I promise I'll come in here every day, because he was a cycling coach. I said, if you will help me when I come in. And if you think after months I have absolutely positively no shot, or you think that I'm not dedicated enough, we'll throw this in the bag. And that's how it happened. In 2010, I got my first world record and finished 3 days faster than the fastest man, which I was very proud of.
Look at you, girlfriend. So I'm sure he was shocked. But let's go back to that feeling when you are at the gym. And I think most of us have been there at some point in our lives. I can remember after I had my children, I was always skinny mini. I drove all my girlfriends crazy. I ate whatever I wanted. And I never gained weight. And everybody said, well, it'll happen when you turn 18, and then it'll happen when you go to college. And it didn't. I was one of the lucky ones. Yeah. But I was always very athletic. I never, ever stopped moving. But then I had my first child, and I couldn't drop the weight no matter what I did. And I can remember, I lived in a small little town in Connecticut, and I remember going into the gym, and everybody in there is in their cute little outfits, and they're all looking so cute, and they all seem to know each other. And I'm coming in feeling frumpy dumpy with, 60 pounds on me that I don't know what to do with. Mm-hmm. And I had never belonged to a gym before. And so I didn't even know where to begin, but I felt so out of place. And I can remember the same thing. Well, we can set you up for personal training, and then you can do this, and and after a while, I'm up to like $2,000, and I'm going, where do I start? What do I really do? And it's confusing, and you can understand why some of the people are out there, watching those infomercials, buying everything out there with those empty promises. Yes. But when you do find a wonderful, wonderful professional like yourself that will sit down and really go through nutrition and what your body truly needs, do you say, okay, this is the real deal, and this is what will work for me? And that's what I love about you. You're genuine, and you really have a heart of gold, and you're really out there to try to help everybody, because you've been there, you've been through it.
Well, I believe knowledge is power, and I think that's the biggest thing, is when you have the knowledge and power. No marketing director, no salesperson, no TV commercial, nobody can lie to you, because Mm-hmm. And it's all about behavior change. If you don't have behavior change and you don't change those behavioral patterns, you're going to revert back, and you have to really make that commitment, and do things a little bit at a time, and do things slowly, and it's okay if you splurge this day, as long as you know, hey, you know what, that was a splurge. It's not something I do every day of the week. It helps create long-term success. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of parents, especially now, I mean, I'm a child of the 80s, and 80s and 90s, maybe even early 2000s. Now these are the parents that are out there, and we were the first generation to grow up with the fast food phenomenon. It wasn't with McDonald's and Burger King and Taco Bell and all this, and we developed really bad habits that I feel like we're passing on to our children, and that's why I'm so passionate about childhood obesity as well.
I love that you have a passion for that. It's very frustrating as a mom. I was just talking to a bunch of moms about this. So I always joke. I ate grass and drank water while I was pregnant. Made the baby food. I never went to the fast food, Arches or whatever with my kids. Yeah. We never had junk food in the house. We just didn't. And each time one of them would go off to college, they went crazy with the junk food, like crazy, crazy, crazy. And I'd say, oh, maybe I should have been a little bit more balanced. And I thought, when they went over a friend's house, I didn't put restrictions. I knew they were going to have junk food or whatever. It's funny how they come full circle to what they remember and how they were raised. Mm-hmm. And they start listening to that hey, what's going on here?
Yeah.
You know, what's happening to my body? Why don't I have as much energy as I had before? Or, you know, why can't I fit into my clothes? So I agree with you. I know it's this immediate gratification. I know it's easier to go through a drive-through. It doesn't take that much longer to prepare their foods. I mean, at one point I had, you know, several kids with different activities. It takes some planning. But I think it's so important, and I love that you are so dedicated to this cause. So you're doing another bike ride.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Yes. Well, it's the Highway for Health Project, and the Highway for Health Foundation is my nonprofit, and we are committed to eradicating childhood obesity and bullying in schools. I was a very overweight child, mercilessly bullied when I was in school. And, you know, those are scars that never go away.
Right.
And, you know, here in North Texas, over the past couple of years, we've had so many suicides. And people, I mean, you hear them, I mean, you know, from DJs to TV on, you know, people on the TV to your neighbors to, oh, this is so tragic, and oh, this is so terrible, and somebody should do something, oh, this is awful. And then Monday comes, or then the weekend comes, and then it just, and then everyone forgets. Exactly, we're on to the next story. And I finally said I'm going to do something about this because both of them are preventable and both of them are based on behavior change and both of them are an entire family unit issue. It's not just one child or one, it's the whole family dynamic. And so the bike ride is going from Chicago, Illinois to the Santa Monica Pier in California along historic Route 66. When I get to Santa Monica, it'll be fun. I don't know in between the two. But when I get to Santa Monica, and the current record is held by a German athlete that's held for 5 years. There's only been 2 people that have documented the route going east to west and not west to east. So when you're going from Chicago to Los Angeles instead of the other way around, you have 40%-ish more hills or uphill climbs. And you also are working you're working with a constant jet stream. Okay, so after you get basically Missouri and you start to cut over, it's all headwind. And there's been almost 11,000 people to date killed trying to do this ride. Most of them have been hit by cars. Some of them have died of heat stroke. A few of them by snake.
11,000 people.
Yes. It's because you are going on I-40 and I-44, and that's the most dangerous part because most of the side roads you can take until you get there. But when they originally built Route 66, that there's nothing there. I mean, it's desert. I mean, from, you know, Amarillo to basically, you know, 30, 40 miles into California, it's a desert. I mean, there's nothing there. And when they built Route 66, they just laid the freeways right on top of it.
That's just crazy. We have to take a quick break, but I want to hear more about this. I have some questions about this route and a lot of questions. You are listening to Hope Through Conversations. This is Rose Colorasi, your host. I have the pleasure of sitting here with Danielle Girdano, Define Sculpting and Nutrition LLC, along with Highway
for Health, the Highway for Health Foundation.
I love it. We will be back just after this.
Hi, my name is Angela Love Foster. I'm the founder executive director of Boxes of Love Ministry. Boxes of Love is a ministry that puts together shoeboxes of hygiene items to give to the homeless, people that have lost their homes in a fire or natural disaster, anyone that finds themselves in a financial situation or struggle. And if you feel it in your heart to donate financially, or if you'd like to donate products, please feel free to donate. You can contact me on Facebook at Boxes of Love, or you can contact me via telephone at 469-364-0022. 469-364-0022.
While cutting molding with a 12-inch dual compound miter saw, while holding a newborn baby in your arms, when face-to-face with a congregation of alligators, with the ball in your hands and the entire freaking season on the line.
There are a million places you'd never consider texting, so why would you do it while driving? NASCAR driver Casey Kane here, asking you to please stop the text, and together we can stop the wrecks.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Get the message at stoptextstopwrecks.org.
Hi, you're listening to Hope Through Conversations. This is Rose Colarossi, your host, and I am having a conversation with Danielle Girdano, Define Sculpting and Nutrition LLC president. I always love what you have on your signature: motivated, dedicated, and highly recommended. But you also do something else. You always end emails and whatever with stay positive and productive, which I love because you are so positive and you are so productive. So before we went on the break, we were talking about your bike ride. For those that are just tuning in now, can you talk a little bit about what you're doing, why you're doing it, and then we're going to get to that highway and the specific questions that I have about that.
Well, and basically it comes down to understanding and knowing. When you go through something yourself, it becomes much more personal. And going through so much bullying for so long when I was younger, and just being so overweight, and knowing that overweightness followed me through into adulthood to the point that I was not living, I was simply existing from day to day. It's a catalyst. And I'm one of those people, and God bless my father, because he told me when I was very small, he said, Danielle, if you're not willing to do anything about a situation you don't like, you don't have the right to complain about it.
Yes.
And that's honestly the way I feel.
Don't complain. Have a solution.
Exactly. And so my solution just happens to be on two wheels going all the way across the country. But I'm doing it because we want to raise awareness. And we're also raising money for the Highway for Health Foundation. So what the foundation is going to do is we're going to take families in 6 months at a time. We are going to teach them nutrition. We're going to teach them fitness. We're going to have an aquaponics farm, and we're going to have a complex out in Nevada where we're going to have an outdoor fitness facility, indoor fitness facility, an educational building, and then, of course, the aquaponics farm itself. We're going to have counseling out there, presentations. It's going to be really an encompassing community type of center, but it's going to be with these families 6 months at a time. So it's not just, hey, come in, let's have a couple talks, listen to a couple seminars,
right.
Let me show you a couple workouts.
Right.
Again, it goes back to that behavioral change and those behavioral patterns and trying to correct them, or at least put them in more of a positive pattern.
So not putting a Band-Aid on a problem,
Exactly.
You're really re-educating people.
Yes,
and
exactly.
So let's go back. So it's going to be out in Nevada. That is not Nevada.
Yes,
that is Nevada, Texas.
Yes,
correct?
Yes. Okay. It's spelled exactly
I know it is.
Yes.
I know it is. So I love, so you're not only educating people on nutrition, but you're hitting something that we're hearing so much about in the news, which is bullying. It breaks my heart when I hear about anybody bullying. I was the kid that was sticking up for the kids that were being bullied. I just could never understand it. But we all know why people bully. It's their own insecurities. It's a power struggle. But that doesn't help a child. It doesn't help anyone who's going through that. It can happen as an adult. So I love that you are bringing awareness to that, and also to suicides, because we are reading so much in the news here about these young kids that are taking their lives. I mean, these beautiful children, because they were being bullied. And that, to me, like you said, we do have to do something about that. That is why we do the show. That is why you are riding the bike. That's why you just had your fundraiser, which was a fantastic fundraiser. So there are things that people, can do. That's what Hope Through Conversations is all about. What can I do is the question a lot of people ask. Well, you can either help by donating money, and no amount is too small, or you can volunteer, you can mentor. There are so many things that people can do. What is your website? If people want to go to your website and get more information, where can they go?
It's highwayforhealth.org. So it's highway and then FOR health.org. And we also have a Facebook page. And one of the cool things that we're going to be doing is people are going to be able to be following along with me as I do the ride. We're going to have a camera set up and real-time tracking and GPS, so people will be able to see what I'm seeing and follow me. And I think that's just going to be awesome.
I love that.
That's awesome.
So I asked you during the break, and the reason I asked you, because when I was at the fundraiser. Now here I know you. And I'm at the fundraiser with you, and she's so great, she's doing good. And you start talking about what you're doing, and I have tears rolling down my eyes, and I'm like, I want to ride a little bit with her. I want to go out there and I want to support her. And and then you're like, well, I'm going on one of the most dangerous highways in the country. You just said
almost 11,000.
11,000 people have died on this highway.
Yes.
So, again, you were talking about why is this so dangerous? Why this strip of highway? So you're leaving from Chicago, and you are ending up at the Santa Monica Pier.
Along Route 66.
Okay.
Historic, the original Route 66.
The original Route 66.
Which is why it turns into a little bit of an obstacle course as you go. But the main danger is traffic, especially trucks, large trucks. There was a group of 3 men that were attempting to do the ride last year and actually got hit by a truck and had some... It was a dire outcome, and you know, it was funny because we were going back, our 2 camps were going back and forth, and the only reason I didn't do it last year was because I got my accident, and we had to postpone. But traffic's the biggest thing. Heat, stroke, and just dehydration is another big one that comes up, and people just, you know, you hit the point where exhaustion was, you know, 1,000 miles ago. I mean, you get to the point where you just hit delirium on the bike, and a lot of people will lose control of the bike, especially if they're going fast, and then they hit their head or something happens, and then of course there's, you know, also the snake bites, because don't forget you are going through desert and you're going through a lot of remote roads and things of that nature. So there has been some cyclists that have been bit by snakes. Excuse me. Yes, they've been bit by the bike. There you go. No, bit by snakes.
But these are the things that people don't think about. Unless you know about this thing, I would never think I'd have to worry about snakes on a bike.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't. That being, you know, years ago I was riding through Flower Mound with a girlfriend of mine, and I literally crashed the bike because a little mole ran in, I'm not kidding, at my wheel. And I was like, and I didn't want to hit the little mole. Yeah. And after I went down, cracked my helmet, skinned my body, she looked at me, she goes, really? Over a mole? Like you couldn't have hit the mole? And I was like, I couldn't do it. But a snake, you don't think. You're out in the desert. I mean, that's crazy. So do you have a van following you? Yeah, we're going to have a pace car in back of us and a pace car driver who's a local woman here. And we're going to have plenty of water. And, you know, we're going to have supplies. Now, there's going to be some segments that we're going to be separated, a couple 100 miles at a time. We're going to be separated, but the goal is my bike is equipped with extra bottle holders on it, and we're going to try and take as many precautions as we can. And of course, I'll have the GPS unit on me, tracking me. So if anything would happen where, okay, she hasn't moved for 10, 15 minutes, that's, you know, should be happening, then at least they'll be able to find me. And of course, we're going to have radios and we're going to have cell phones and all that kind of stuff. So you're wired. So when do you start, and then how long do you expect it to take?
Well, we start on September 18th from Chicago, weather permitting. We have to leave from Chicago on a Sunday just because of the traffic. It's just way too dangerous to leave any other day of the week. And I'm going to get there hopefully less than 44 days, because that's what the record is. I'm going to get there as quick as I can. Now, the closer we get to leaving, probably somewhere in, you know, July, beginning of August, we're going to have a real good idea of what I'm pacing at, what I'm stroking at, and so we'll be able to better predict then. Now, before the accident happened, we were pretty confident that I was going to get in the mid-30s or so, and so, you know, we just got to go back to the drawing board now and just see where I'm at that particular time and go from there. And I'll get there as quick as I can, I promise.
Oh, I have no doubt. So, people want to donate to this cause. Give us your website again.
It's highwayforhealth.org. That's highwayforhealth.org. And we have really cool things. They can just do a straight PayPal donation. They can also donate to get one of the jerseys, the replica jersey that I'm going to be wearing along the way. That's cool, right?
Yes.
And we have a ton of fundraisers that we're doing in the DFW area with different bicycle shops around the area. We're actually going to have another formal fundraiser as well, too. And so, you know, hopefully...
Do you know when that is? You can tell the listeners. June 2nd. Where is that going to be?
It's going to be at Sunnyland Furniture from 5:30 to 8 p.m. We're going to have a silent auction. We have some great items, some lower-end items and some higher-end items, and, you know, we're going to have a great time.
Well, you just had a fundraiser there, and it was great. I got that beautiful necklace.
Oh, is that you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you had some great items there. You had a signed picture from Ronald Reagan. I mean, you had some great items there, and that's a great location for a fundraiser. It was a lot of fun.
It is.
Yeah, and I met some folks, take the time, go to her website, find out where this is. I met some great people that night. I made some really great contacts. Typically what happens at these events, they're like-minded people, and we want to, surround ourselves with like-minded people.
Yes.
So, when is that again? June
2nd. It's Thursday, June 2nd, from 5:30 to 8 p.m.
And what's the intersection there?
Coit and Spring Valley.
Okay, so
right near
it was very
635.
easy to get to.
Yeah.
It really was, and they were all great there. They were nice. Yeah.
And
So
we're going to have a great beer and wine bar and great food and dessert, and it'll be a good time again.
it was great. We had who did you have there? D Sweets, Dawn Reed. She had
Yes.
her sweets are so good.
And they're all organic and non-GMO.
They are. She has the best. Oh, if you don't know about D Sweets, I'll just give them a plug now, but she's amazing. So I want to talk a little bit about Danielle and her background. She's considered one of the most elite professionals in the fitness industry today. We talked a little bit about she is only one of 12 worldwide professionals that sit on the Personal Training Advisory Board for the Cooper Institute based right here in Dallas. The Cardiovascular Wellness of Dallas, you are also on their advisory board as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's pretty amazing. And I love, really, you just have a passion for helping people, not only in the fitness industry, but using the fitness industry to reach people, no matter what is going on with them. Have you always been like that from a kid? Because it comes from deep inside. I mean, it just like oozes out of you. You think you were born that way, or you think it was also a product of the bullying? Or
We could break out some Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
I was born this way. Okay, no. I think I had a very hard childhood coming up, and I think a lot of the strength that I have now, and a lot of the compassion, comes from just surviving through a lot of very difficult situations. And again, going back to my point, is when you understand, you really understand. And when you understand the pain, and you understand whatever area of life it is, or working with animals or seniors or whatever it may be, you can't help but feel compelled, because you don't want someone else to experience that same pain. And one of my most favorite sayings is, inspiration without action is entertainment.
I love that.
And that is absolutely the truth.
I love that.
If you talk about, oh, this is great and wonderful, but you never go to the website, or you never come to a fundraiser, or you never volunteer, or you never do anything, that's entertainment. You were entertained by the conversation today. You weren't truly inspired because there was no action. So
I love that. I always talk to my kids, one of the things we all have to try to figure out is, what is our purpose? Why are we here? Why are we uniquely here, and how much can we do to help others? Because that's really, you can't take things with you. People are the most important, but, how can we really help them? And I love, there are, I think, two types of people. There's a people that have had a difficult life, and they continue in that spiral. And then there are people who have had either a hard life or hard situations, and they want to break that cycle, and they want it better for other people, and you're one of those, and I love that about you. I think it's great. So I just want to wish you all the luck. I know you don't need luck. You're so good. I know you're gonna do wonderful. Folks, take a minute, go to the website, donate $5. Just imagine if everybody donated $5. Everybody's so worried all the time. Well, I don't have that much to donate. I said $5. Or if you want to donate something to be auctioned, or if you want to volunteer, or there's anything, just reach out. You can reach out on Hope Through Conversations Facebook page. We're going to have all the information up there for Danielle, her nonprofit organization. Everything will be on there. And I want to thank you so much for being here. Give our listeners the website one last time.
Okay, it's highway and then FOR health.org, highway4health.org. And thank you so much for having me on. And you are just such a bright spirit. Anybody who meets you, you just have this radiance of
you're so
just
sweet.
brightness. No, really,
Thank
you
you.
do.
You're
You're
sweet.
always, bouncy, and you have good energy, and so I'm humbled that, you had me on today, and I'm just privileged that, we're friends.
Well,
and I
it's a
think
love
that's
fest,
awesome.
everybody.
There you
You're
go.
on a love fest. Thank you, Danielle.
Okay.
I love it. Well, Okay, so you're listening to Hope Through Conversations. This is Rose Colarossi. I've been talking with Danielle Girdano. Listen, just figure out what it is that you're supposed to do. What is your purpose? That's what Hope Through Conversations is all about. Help us spread the awareness, and together we can make a change. Until next time, have a great day.
Time for us to do something.